Good evening, guys.
Hello, Min, 先生们。
晚上好，大家晚上好。
Are we
I'm
doing it
really
in Chinese
evening,
tonight?
everybody.
I'm starting to forget Chinese, man. Okay,
Hey, me
how
too.
y'all
I'm
doing?
here.
How y'all doing tonight, man?
Doing
well.
good, doing good.
Good. All right, we already got some comments, and he's always early, Mr. Panyawat. Good evening,
And
Ka
he's always
Always.
looking beautiful every time.
And he's always looking beautiful. You might as well consider to change to some other idols too, so they all can see, how pretty Thai idols are,
We already know, don't we? Isn't that like what you guys are famous for?
Well, no, not as much as in Korea or in Japan. I think they just started a few years back, this idol thing.
But you guys are just famous for beautiful women in general.
Oh yeah, I don't deny that. Yeah.
That and delicious food.
All right, guys. So okay, thanks for joining our live stream. Just for now, let's just check the sound check, audio, video. If you guys are out there, do comment where you're listening or watching from. Yeah. I hope the sound is all
from
right.
Shenzhen tonight. What about you guys?
I'm still in Bangkok, Thailand.
Still in Beijing.
Oh, I missed the place.
I was in Yunnan this week actually, but I came back to Shenzhen just for this show, because I didn't take all my gear. I didn't take my laptop, my microphone, my camera, my ring light. So
you had to come back.
Had to come back just for this podcast. Take it very seriously.
Appreciated it, man. You appreciated your.
I hope all the fans do too.
Oh yeah. All right, so at least we get back to the weekly schedule. We are on again this Thursday. Yeah. All right. Okay. That must be early there for
Mississippi,
huh? Wow. What time is it there now? It's like
8:30 probably.
8 in the morning. Like
12
12
hours.
hours.
Yeah, 8:30.
Rise and shine. Welcome to the podcast. Yep.
Welcome.
So
and that's a name I haven't seen before. Have we seen Leandric Woods before? I don't think so. So welcome if it's your first time.
Yeah, welcome. Yep.
Welcome.
Thanks for everyone joining. Yep. Okay.
Definitely subscribe.
Oh yeah, please do. we are trying to hit 1,000 subscriber. Hopefully by the end of this month. But end of this month is like only a few days left. So I think we push on to another end of next month.
Yeah. We got to get Mr. P to drop some mind-blowing, shocking news in the pod and not just on his own channel, and then that'll really get us over the hump.
Yeah, you could have dropped some bombs there, man. Like throw some, some juicy stuff,
Yeah.
Well, today actually, Eric has got some shocking news for us all.
It's very shocking.
Right?
It's very shocking.
Yeah.
So you guys better stick around. We're gonna talk about that later.
Cool. Okay, without further ado, I think not to delay the time, we can just start with the usual intro.
All right, let's jump in. Welcome everybody. Blue Sky Coming, unofficial NIO podcast coming at you live every week on YouTube. I'm Eric, that's Mr. P, and that's Ting, over there. So as always, we're gonna get started with any news and rumors and speculation. Mr. P, what do you got this week for us?
Well, so today actually, they just signed on IM Motors. Okay, but it's only for charging, which is kind of interesting. And a lot of people were saying, IM is probably going to use, because IM is SAIC, under SAIC, the Shanghai Automobile Group. And they're basically sister companies with Feifan, which is Rising Auto, the other company that has battery swap. And the number two, all right, I do this because we know their swap stations get like no volume in swaps. They barely have any swap stations. And that company's not doing too well, Feifan. But IM Motor, in an unexpected move, partnered with NIO to join hands in charging. So IM Motors customers and owners can charge at NIO superchargers, NIO power chargers. And I think this is one of the first steps towards them eventually adopting battery swap. And it's very interesting. It seems like Rising Auto has given up, admitted defeat, because it seems like the industry is all accepting NIO's model, right? And NIO's, I guess, volume, the number of swap stations they have. NIO has so many swap stations. It's just kind of hard for anybody else to compete. So it might just be better for them to join them. So I think, and I'll recite something said by William Lee that I saw in a video. He said that in the next 2 years, what we will see is all the automobiles eventually move on to a standardized system, sort of like how phones before, and he said we will have like an iPhone 4 kind of moment for automobiles, for EVs. And he said it's sort of like how before you had all sorts of weird operating systems, but then eventually it consolidated to Apple's iOS and also Android. So I guess what he's referring to is very soon we're going to see automobiles sort of have a unified platform like Android. And he sees that happening. This is his prediction. He sees that happening in the next 2 years. Now, of course, NIO is working towards that by making sure that battery swap is, part of the unified, platform, I guess, the Android of cars in a sense. So you guys can take that as very, very good information. I mean, like, holy crap. So NIO could eventually become like the Android of cars. All right. Everybody has a chassis that uses NIO's swapping system that can use NIO swapping system. And you see that everybody has already signed on. So it's heading towards that direction. But what you're also seeing is, for example, Huawei with their Harmony OS operating system for the cars, the autonomous driving. It's all sort of becoming a very, how should I phrase it? Everything is sort of becoming very condensed. So everybody's like using each other's stuff now, right? And it seems like Harmony OS will definitely stay, and battery swap will probably also be like one of those unified platforms in the future. So this is going to be pretty amazing down the line. And he says he expects one of the first cars to be like one of the unified platform Android of cars, so to speak, to come out within the next 2 years. So this is like what he said, a prediction that he made, William Lee, the CEO of NIO. So in that sense, I think very soon we're approaching a point where NIO could become sort of like the Android of automobiles. Pretty
Very
interesting.
Cool. And Mr. P, I got to correct you real quick, though. You said number 2 is Fei Fan for power swap. It's actually Ladao, Envo.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Envo. Yeah.
Do we have any other news or rumors, Mr. P? That sounds pretty good.
Yeah. And apart from that, I mean, the topic of today's video, orders and deliveries exploding like crazy. All right. Mm-hmm. And the delivery centers are packed like crazy. Even the aisles are packed. It's just insane. Even outside the delivery center, the cars are super packed. And it's gotten to the extent that at the delivery center, they've stopped allowing battery swaps there, because usually they have a battery swap station there. But because there's so many cars being delivered, they got to shut down the battery swap system, the battery swap station, so that there aren't any cars coming in, so that they can fit all of these brand new cars that are being delivered. Also, some other services, for example, like putting on the exterior plastic coating wrapping for your car, that kind of stuff. That's also like being like heavily queued up. Everybody's lined up for that. So if you're a existing NIO owner and you want to like get that thing done, it's gonna take you a long time, and there's pretty much not allowing NIO owners to do that right now because of how many cars they have there at the delivery center. So it's just a massive delivery explosion. Yeah.
Nice. So we're going to talk about that later on in the show. Our experiences, mine too.
Nope.
Did we lose Eric?
I think we lost Eric.
Whoa. Okay,
All right.
give him some time. Anyway,
So
while we at
yeah,
the figure, I let's just take a look quickly then, yeah, Mr. P. We go through the. This is like a weekly delivery, is it?
weekly insurance registrations.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's commit that is already in the hand of customer. Basically, it's like
Exactly. Yeah, it's insurance registrations, and you can tell this is like basically the first week of May, right? And plus like 2 days from April. So NIO got, if you can zoom in, you can see NIO got like 3,600, right? 3,600 deliveries. Yeah. And then, yep, there you go, 3,600. And you can see where things stand with the other guys. I mean, like on top of that, Zeekr, number two,
Zika.
also about the same. Yeah. But Zeekr's
Yeah,
average selling price is lower, right? And then on top of
correct.
that, Ito and Li Auto, they
ISO,
both sell like gasoline cars, basically. Yeah.
the EREV stuff. So they're
Yeah.
still dominate. Yeah, they dominate on the figure because still people prefer EREV in the city outside the Taiwan, the tier one. They buy a lot for tier 2, tier 3. I think they sell a lot more too, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
there's no restriction on plates and stuff.
Yeah. Someone asked, but where is BYD or Tesla? So this is very interesting. This chart was published by Li Auto. It's purposefully made so that it looks better for them. All right. And
Mhm.
it's basically like BYD and Tesla, they obviously deliver more. And this chart is basically the brand new energy vehicle makers here in China,
Right. Yeah,
which is
like
kind of
like a
interesting.
sort
The
of
newer
startup,
brands.
new company. Yeah, startups, new companies that get into the
Yeah.
game, sort of. You know. Yeah.
Yeah. Here in China. It has to be Chinese. So kind of
Yep.
interesting.
All are Chinese brand. So, and one observation here is that all the list here, 10 ranking here, almost every one of them got more than one model, except for number 9, right? Number 9, so only one single model, the SU7. Well, I mean, if you split SU7 Max and SU7, it's still the same sort of sedan main model, right? But the rest of the list here, they got more than one. So still quite impressive for Xiaomi.
Yeah.
Salute.
And if
Yeah.
you look at Xpeng's numbers, I mean, Xpeng's numbers are kind of low, 1,400. Their average selling
And
price is quite low as well, but it seems like right now their deliveries are mostly pretty much only Xpeng X9. The G9,
yeah,
G6, P7, P5, G3 are not doing that well. And just
drop dramatically.
today, yeah, and just today they actually did a price cut, a massive price cut on the P7. Not the P7i, the P7 down to around, I think, 150,000 RMB, which is just nuts.
Oh,
All right. Yeah.
I'm practically giving it away.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
price
That's
tag is like really dangerous action there.
yeah, exactly.
So
Let's
this
move
is
on
the
to next
first week
week's
of the
number.
month. Yeah, this is the first week of the month where it touched a little bit few
Yep.
days of end of last month. So
Yep.
this one is the after the first week of this month, right? So
Yep.
the first two,
Second week.
still the same. Li Auto and Ito coming strong.
Yep.
But Neo is not so bad too, eh? We are like
Yeah.
winning the top 5.
4,400, huh? Yeah,
Yep. So
4,400.
added that to the previous one, 3,600 is already 8,000, right? And we are like
Yeah,
only before the mid of the month, 8,000,
exactly. Yeah.
and come to almost third week, we add in another 4,400. So that like
Yep.
12,400, 12,400, and we still got like what 12 days to go, right?
Yep.
And this is coming up to 26, right? So like a few days ago,
Yep.
another 5,400,
5,400.
which mean we are at 17, let's say 18,000,
Yeah.
18,000. So which mean we should easily break 20K. What you
Yeah.
guys think?
In 5 days deliveries, easily break 20K.
Yeah. And I think Eric maybe have something to share, right? You did scout
Exactly.
a little bit.
Yeah, first, but I wanted to go back to some more news before we get into the sales stuff, if I may.
Sure.
In Europe, if you guys have been paying attention, actually, NIO just is currently offering discounts on ET7 and EL7, up to 11,000 euros off the ET7. I think it's like 6,000 or 7,000 off the EL7. So if anybody's out there in Europe and you don't yet have a NIO, of course, now is the perfect time to go take a test drive. You can scan. I'm sure Mr. P's code is easily accessible. You can probably share it. Or scan mine, but I don't know where my code is, before you take a test drive. But definitely now is a great time to go and do that. The other thing about what's going on in Europe is on June 13th, across all of the European countries that NIO's launched in, there's actually going to be an event for a product launch. It probably is the ES8/EL8, but we're not 100% sure yet. So have you guys heard anything about that? No, not yet. Okay. Well, I think it's gonna.
Not yet.
I think it's gonna be the ES8, EL8 launching in Europe, and that's gonna be. I'm sure it's gonna be live streamed, but also if you want to go to a NIO house, if you look at the NIO app in Europe, you can see information about the event. But they will have I think events at each NIO house all at the same time for this product launch. So definitely go check that out. I know we have Belgium in here and somebody in Tyrol, which should be Austria or Germany.
Stick said that can use his code too.
Yeah, there you go. Definitely, you can use Stig's code because we don't have our code ready.
Tell us what you hear as well, right? Some rumors in Europe, because a lot of the European viewers here as well. You might hear a lot. Yeah.
I see Michael here also said he's from Belgium. He's waiting for his store. There are a few Belgian users. We had even on our very first show, if you ever go back to the very first show, we had Marnix. We had Marnix on the show from Belgium. He was one of the first NIO users in Europe as well. So you can get a NIO. Use Stig's code.
Yep.
So yeah. So that's all the news I got, and that's all the news I think Mr. P has. So jump back into sales, or what are we at? I was lost.
Yeah, I got one last rumor.
Okay.
So apparently, well, we know that NIO Day they announced new cars, and this year it's gonna be no different. They're gonna launch another car this NIO Day in December. So apparently, the rumored car is gonna be ES8, third gen ES8. So we're not too sure how long that's gonna take until deliveries, but it sort of seems like it's gonna have like rear wheel steering. It's going to have rear screens like the ET7, etc., etc.
So look forward to that.
Okay. Thank you.
Mr. P's the sexiest
I'm
one.
flattered.
I gotta have to put it on. I have to bring it up. Sorry. ES8, the NT 3.0 ES8.
Yeah, rumored.
Just before the ET9. Ah, okay. So they want to bring that out before the ET9, which is used.
Well, ET9 will probably get delivered first.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, ET9 will get delivered first.
ES8, right? It's just a launch.
Yeah, they're just launching it.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, so we were at the numbers, and I heard that you did some scouting, Eric.
Oh yeah, I did.
Some figures from the sales from the your stores.
Yeah, sure. So actually, I just got back to Shenzhen, and I was watching some of Mr. P's videos recently, and I saw him saying, all these stores are sold out and all this stuff, and sales are so good. So I thought, I haven't been to a NIO store in a long time. I should go check it out. Check out a NIO house. So that's what I did today. And I filmed a little bit. I talked to a salesman for quite a long time. And I do have a video I'm going to put up after this podcast, actually. So go watch it when it comes on. But I didn't film the entire interview. I didn't share it because he didn't want me to. But I can share what he said. And also one other thing is that you'll see there's actually a big hole in the NIO house where a couple cars are missing. There should be 5 cars in that NIO house, but there's only 3. So currently there's an ET7 missing that he said just got sold today. But yeah, anyway, long story short is talking to this guy for quite a while. He said it's been crazy busy recently. They've been selling tons of cars, just like Mr. P said. So he's not BSing you. I saw it myself. And he said that for sure they're going to cross 20,000. He doesn't think they'll hit 25,000 this month, but he's saying that the volume is really, really good. I also asked him some questions like, for example, what are the best-selling cars currently? He said he only really has the information for Shenzhen, and he told me that ET5, ET5T right now are really, really hot. He did tell me that a lot of customers, like Mr. P said, from Xiaomi are coming. He said, if you have a deposit for Xiaomi, you don't want to wait for half a year or for a year to get your car. You come in, you show NIO that you want a car sooner, and they'll help you kind of buy out that deposit, and they'll help you get you into a car as soon as possible. So all that stuff is true and accurate. So you have no reason to doubt Mr. P. Very, very accurate information. So I'm glad to see that. He did tell me, besides ET5 and ET5T, of course, ES6 is selling very, very well. And then he said the third most best-selling car, besides ET5 and ES6, currently in Shenzhen is ET7. So I'm curious, from you guys, have you guys looked at the numbers on, what is it, D-Car? Have you seen any recent numbers of the sales?
Yeah, I look at some. Maybe Mr. P can elaborate on the figure.
Yeah, I saw some, but apparently it was for last week's numbers, like the week ending in May 19th. And for that week, it was still like ET7 still wasn't doing that well yet. I guess most cars weren't delivered, and that makes sense. Yeah. But to add on to your information, so apparently, according to industry insiders, about 40% of NIO's new orders comes from Xiaomi. So that's how impactful Xiaomi has been for NIO.
It's funny too. I asked the guy, we were talking about, battery swap, and if customers knew what it was, especially customers coming over from other brands or just kind of wandering into the store and looking around. He said right now, most customers actually are well aware of battery swap. They know something about it. And of course, now the cars, they have the video where you can watch the battery swap, what it is inside the car. But he said a lot of customers still don't really believe it. They've heard about it, they've seen it, but they don't believe it. So of course, they are taking customers to the nearby swap station. He says all day they're just bringing people to the swap station to swap the battery. So people are very, very impressed by that as well. What else did I learn today? I mean, think about this. I don't know. I'm gonna have to give me. Oh, you know what? I also did. I had a really great cappuccino.
You mean like the from NIO Cafe?
Yeah, from the NIO house. I went upstairs. You'll see in the video, not very many people there. It was basically 12 o'clock today, Thursday. There was a few people. A couple came in to do a takeaway coffee. There was a couple tables of people in there. So about maybe a little bit more busy than some of my previous videos because there were people utilizing the space, but really still not very many.
Nice. Lei Jun, the founder and CEO of Xiaomi, he said that if you cannot wait, a lot of the great Chinese car are available on the market, right? Like you can actually go buy them too, right? That's quite a fair statement, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
it's like please wait for our car. It's like, yeah, we got a lot.
That's another good point. I asked the guy about how long it's going to take for cars to deliver right now. He said any new car you order, they're telling customers is 4 weeks. So that's the waiting time right now.
That's good. 4 weeks is still better than 8 months.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And I don't want to trash on Xiaomi SU7, but their car isn't fully ready. Like a lot of the autonomous driving stuff and some of the software stuff. And I've seen videos of where they're trying to back the car in, and then the rear view camera wouldn't pop up, and they got to exit the car and then come back in, and then it would pop up. But then once they shift it into reverse, the camera goes away. So it's kind of frustrating and stuff like that. And I guess it's fine. It's their first car, but it really stands to benefit NIO in a sense, because NIO is a lot more well established and they've been through this phase. I mean, I know from some of the very early NIO owners, when the first ES8 launched, that thing didn't even have internet, and it couldn't even didn't have any maps or any NIO Pilot or anything like that, and there were basically no swap stations either. It was like they had nothing. So it's sort of like that going on for Xiaomi, and it's very reasonable for customers to, see that, oh my God, Xiaomi's not fully ready. Why don't we go check out some of the other cars? NIO seems pretty nice. We've seen several videos of NIO CEO with Xiaomi CEO. Seems pretty nice. Yeah, we'll go check it out. So that's one of the things that's happening. People are indeed buying NIOs, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
A lot of cars, they have software issues. Probably NIO does as well. But I was telling you guys in our group chat, right, about the Ito car I saw just last week. It was raining super hard here in Shenzhen, and I was having a coffee, and this lady ran in. She parked her Ito, brand new. I think it's M8, right, the really big one, and she ran into the coffee shop to pick up some takeaway coffee. Left her car like running. The headlights were on, the windshield wipers were on. She ran back out and she couldn't get back in the car. She had her phone. She couldn't unlock the car. She called her husband. She couldn't unlock the car. So I have no idea what the problem was, but I was watching her and talking to her for like 10 minutes and she could never get back in, and I just left. So every car seems like having some pretty major issues. Maybe not every car, but except for NIO. NIO doesn't, from what I've seen, hasn't had these issues.
It's quite stable.
I want to add on to that. There's actually two interesting things. One of them was one of the NIOs got reversed into a lake, sort of a river, and it was able to float on top of the water for a very long time. The driver was able to escape through the window and then sit on top of the car. The car was basically acting as a boat. And remember, that car weighs around 2.7 tons. And then basically when the cops came, they were able to, basically the car floated to the shore and he was able to get off. And that was like tremendous marketing for NIO. And they also had one of their engineers talk a little bit about the sealant inside the car, which is just absolutely fantastic. That got a lot of publicity. It went viral because it's one of the few cars that actually floats. And it kind of shows how great quality NIOs are. Now, the second interesting video that I stumbled across was a brake malfunction for a NIO. So, long story short, what happened, this NIO was driving inside the parking lot of a shopping mall, and he was going around 40 kilometers per hour. First red flag, all right? The floor was wet. He wanted to brake, but he couldn't, and then it just kept going forward, and it bumped into a Tesla Model 3 that was at the very end of that parking lot aisle. And the NIO owner was super pissed. He went into the stores, and he had a shirt saying, "Oh, NIO brake failure, brake malfunction." But NIO's response to that was because the floor was really wet, he was going 40 kilometers an hour. The ABS system, the anti-brake sliding system, kicked in to prevent sliding. So that's why he sort of felt like the brakes weren't working, but it was completely his own fault for driving 40 kilometers in a parking lot, which you should never do, right? Especially with wet floor. I mean, what was he expecting? So, well, that was also viral, but clearly that's his own fault.
So did everybody shame him and point out that he was wrong?
Oh, well, yeah, people did.
The comment must be nasty, I think, on the comment.
Yeah, but interestingly enough, he said he'll take full responsibility if there's nothing wrong with the brakes. So I hope he lives up to what he said.
After he made a T-shirt.
Yeah, and he went into the store to protest. I mean, like,
oh boy,
that's kind of crazy. Yeah.
But back to that floating
shouting
NIO.
inside the store.
Back to that floating NIO, guys. Remember, NIO is like battery swappable car. Yeah. So think about integrity of the car structure and the sealant, and it still floats. So think about that. No joke there.
There was a question on our podcast last week if NIO had taken Mitch McConnell's wife or his sister-in-law into the lake, right? Would she have survived? And apparently she would have.
Hmm.
Yeah.
All right. By the way, I saw some photo. Let me bring up on the screen. What is this, Mr. P?
Oh, so that is one of the bulk deliveries, B2B. So NIO does a lot of B2B sales as well. And I actually know the person who was responsible for the B2B sales. That person, that sales rep, well, she used to be a sales rep. She actually helped invite me and Ting to the EC7 new color launch event, if you remember
Oh,
that,
okay.
Ting. Yeah, yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
okay. So
She
she moved.
invited us there. Yeah, it was her. Yeah,
Ah,
and
okay.
she's responsible for like a lot of B2B sales, and Neo's been doing a lot of these as well. So uh, like just selling to businesses. I mean, a lot of these businesses they gotta buy cars as well, and what better car to choose than a Neo, right? So this is one of the events that happened quite recently. Neo selling a bunch of cars, and just look. There's another photo with like just showing how many cars were delivered. If you can jump to that. So this is a few, but there's another one that's like, yeah, look at that.
Oh,
A
that's the one.
whole,
This is the one. The
yeah, the one on
whole
top. Yeah, look at
parking
that.
garage. The whole
Yeah,
parking
a
is
whole
belong to
parking
that
garage of
company.
cars being
Wow.
delivered to a company.
You
So
know
this is
what
pretty
sort of
nuts. I mean,
business
like,
they own? Like that company, what sort of business they
uh,
own? Like logistic or
I, I didn't,
transportation or what?
I didn't go into depth and research that,
Mm.
but it's just this was quite recent. So they're doing a lot of this as well. A lot of
You think
businesses.
you think they'll build a power swap station here at their company?
Mm.
It's
Interesting.
possible to self-fund a swap station. Is and it's also possible to like get Neo to build a swap station within your vicinity if like there are no swap stations nearby and there's a lot of Neo owners there. I think Neo
Well,
will
there's
do
a lot
that,
of
but
Neo owners now.
yeah, but it's very possible for them to build a swap station. Yeah, and sometimes you can even self-fund it. Like you put the money, and then Neo's gonna like build it there. You're gonna own it, and Neo will operate it. And that's actually what some of the other energy companies are doing. Like Neo has signed up a lot of car companies for joining in the battery swap network, but also the energy companies. They're signed on because they see investment. So they want a return on income. So that's why they're
Mm.
and these big state companies, government companies, they have a lot of money just lying there. They got to put it to use. What better way, since you're an energy company, why not just like partner up with Neo, build these swap stations. We'll put up the money. We'll own the swap stations. Neo can operate them. So this is like super nice. I mean, like for Neo owners, we got more swap stations. For they get more swap stations at basically no extra cost, which is pretty amazing as well. Yeah.
Hey, I got a question. I don't know if you know this, Mr. P. Do you know why Gen 4 swaps have been slow to roll out? Because I know they initially announced for April, right? Starting to install Gen 4 swap station.
I'm not too sure, but I think it's just the complexity.
Oh, we lost P.
Whoa. Okay, we lost the guy. He's trying to get back in again.
I'm
So he
back,
was
right?
saying he thinks because it's too
I think
complex.
it's because like there's still a lot of fine tuning to do for the swap stations. Like I saw some photos of like a bunch of engineers just there fine tuning that swap station, making sure it's ready because it is kind of different. They got more battery slots, and also it has lidar. It has like 4 lidars, if I believe. Yeah, 4 lidars. So it's just a more complex system. So they gotta like test it out more and see if it's like fully ready. But one of the cool things is the progress bar on top. They got this little TV basically that shows you how much longer until the swap is done. So this is pretty nice because for current swap stations, you can never know if they're just starting the swap or like if they're about to finish the swap.
Mhm.
So that's pretty nice.
Nice. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing those when they go live.
There's another one. This is a delivery number, I think. So if you
No,
add it, is it?
it's
What is it?
Ding Dan. It's Ding Dan. It's reservations.
The reservation. Sorry, yeah,
Yeah,
reservation.
this is reservation, and this is more like just orders. How many orders Neo's got? And for the first 5 days of the month, Neo got 7,000 orders. That's basically from all the auto shows that happened. Beijing Auto Show, they had like 20 different auto shows going on. So they got a ton of orders. 7,000, and then the second week they got 5,000, 6,000, and then 5,500. And you do the math, they're like almost at 30,000 orders. So that's pretty crazy.
23.5. Plus, you got 5 more days.
Yeah. So massive orders. And man, that's just good news. I mean, the reason for that is quite straightforward. People are more confident in buying a NIO. Also, the policy is there to support it. And I guess why don't we talk about why we bought our NIOs at the moment we did. So for me, I'll start off. I ordered my NIO back in October of 2020. And I think I ordered it on October 3rd. And on October 6th, that was when, if you order the car after that, you will not get unlimited free swap for life. So I was like, hell no, I'm not missing out on this. So I ordered the car right there and then. So I was lucky to be part of the first batch, the last batch of people that got unlimited free swap for life. But what about you guys?
You are the free swap OG, man.
I can swap 10 times a day.
I got my car second, so I guess I'll go second. For me, it was just kind of a coincidence, really, because coronavirus and not much going on because I closed my company. So I was just like, what should I do, right? And I didn't want to go to America during the coronavirus, so I just kind of bought a car and drove around China. That it wasn't much more to it than that.
But then why you pick NIO EC6 at that time compared to what other on the market?
At that time, from what I saw, it was the only electric car that would really be able to drive everywhere I wanted to go, thanks to their... I mean, anybody could use NIO service with the charging van, right? But, having it all kind of the service all integrated was, of course, the reason why I chose the NIO. Plus, it's a nice car, so why not?
Okay, that's cool. Actually, I was about to get about the same time as you, Eric, the car. But at that time, NIO, the UI and everything was still only in Chinese. You remember, Mr. P? It's like the same topic with Mr. P, man. When they're gonna have English one? Because though I could speak and listen a little bit, but I cannot read Chinese, right? So, and it's quite dangerous when some warning pops up in Chinese and you don't know what the hell that was. Huh? So, I rather wait until they sort of like ready, English UI ready. And the moment when I bought the ES6 was because it's the last batch to get that the 4 or 6 free swaps a month. We're not as luxury as Mr. P, who got unlimited, but at least it still got a good deal there. Battery swap is the only main reason, I think. Yeah,
battery swap's great, but back in those days when Mr. P bought it, or when I bought it, there was hardly any swap stations. Like, I think in Shenzhen, when I bought my car, there was like 3, maybe 4, and they were all Gen 1. They were terrible.
Oh yeah, Gen 1, man. I did have the issue with Gen 1 with my car. It's like the bolt alignment. It's like it cannot find the right torque or something. So the guy has to like hops around and then try to manually loosen the bolt and then let the system carry on afterwards. But
I gotta say,
yeah.
I gotta say, I think a lot of people don't appreciate how far they have come. Like, not just the quantity of stations, but how much better they are than they used to be.
Oh yeah,
they move very, very quickly.
Because even compare between Gen 1 and Gen 2, you see huge difference, right? like there was the first time when I have the Gen 1 swap experience, and it was a problem. So it's like, man. So I rather stick with the Gen 2 now. Maybe just the NT 2.0, it was like not a good matching with Gen 1. I don't know for whatever reason.
Like,
But the guy said that some of the Gen 2 NT 2.0 come and swap on Gen 1 station. They faced a similar sort of issue there, and they couldn't fix because the tech on Gen 1 is too old already. They couldn't. So that's fine.
can we just recap really quick, like the power swap stations? Like Gen 1 was fully manned. You had to lift the car, so the human had to get out of the car. It took, what, 6 minutes or something? 5 minutes, something like that, the whole process, getting out of the car. And then we moved to Gen 2, and it was still fully manned for a good long while. But you could stay in the car. They didn't lift the car. And then eventually, I remember they started doing testing the autonomous stations for Gen 2. So I remember I went and tried that, and it was amazing. I was like, oh, finally, it's 24 hours, nobody here. Much faster than Gen 1. And now we're Gen 3 and soon Gen 4. It's just like, it's crazy how far they've come. I really can't believe it sometimes.
Yeah, the other thing is Gen 1, you only had 5 batteries.
Yeah,
So
that too.
That caused a lot of waiting if you had to wait. Like, for example, one of the new houses in Beijing, right outside there was a swap station. But you can imagine, you got 60 or 50 NIO owners there, and then they all want to swap. They're lined up, and then you only got 5 batteries. So back then, it was kind of valid for people to kind of doubt battery swap. But now, come on, we got like 20 plus batteries, almost 30 batteries inside a swap station. There's basically nothing to worry about. Yeah.
Agreed.
One other thing before we get to start going through questions, since we're already at 42 minutes. Actually, there's another auto show, probably more than one, but Mr. P was talking about how great sales were at the auto shows. Actually, here in Shenzhen, starting, I guess, in 2 days from now, the new auto show in Shenzhen. So I'll be going to that. Actually, BYD invited me, but I'm, of course, going to go check out NIO and what else is going on. Hopefully Onvo, probably not, but hopefully Onvo. So probably a lot more sales coming. Big auto show here in Pearl River Delta.
Nice. Yeah, but I don't think they'll showcase Onvo because they haven't
I don't
showed the interior yet. Yeah.
Right.
So kind of optimistic there.
I said I don't think Onvo will be there, but you never know.
Yeah,
they would probably advertise.
That would be amazing.
They'll let you know before they put Onvo there, I'm sure. But NIO will be there, so hopefully they sell some cars. Do we want to start going through questions?
All right, let's move into questions.
Yeah, sure. Let's just go back from the top. I'll skip all that funny comments, yeah, guys. So we will not touch that funny comments and stuff.
Actually, it's nice to see that people are actually being a lot friendlier this week in the comments.
Oh yeah, you guys can talk among the viewers. Yeah, I see some interaction there, which is good. Quite entertaining to read too.
Yeah, Mr. P, very sexy.
There's a question here by Claude Govinder. What's NIO's plan to bring the cost of production down so they can stop making a loss on the current MRSP per vehicle? Well, this is an excellent question. Onvo cars are going to be profitable. All right. There's going to be a very healthy margin for that. And going forward, the strategy for them is apparently to have Onvo brand take over the 200K, 300K market. And then NIO move on to the 7s, 8s, and 9s. And in the future, there won't be ES6s or ET5s or ET5Ts. Those cars will be on the Onvo brand. And so essentially you would have all of them have like decent margins, decently good margins, very cost effective going into the future. So that's their strategy going forward. And the average selling price for NIO under the NIO brand will be much higher. So it's just going to be 7s and 8s and 9s. So that's going to be pretty interesting. And then also Onvo cars will also be profitable because they have very good margins for that as well.
How confident are you in that plan, Mr. P? Because for me, when I think about that, I think like, why get rid of your best-selling car, your ES6? 200,000 out of 500,000 Neos delivered are ES6.
I think. Well, the thing is, I think it's gonna work out. I think it's gonna work out, and people that still want a Neo, they can definitely still buy like a ES7 or ES8, right? They just gotta pay a little bit more to stay with the Neo brand, and I guess it really depends on if the Envo brand is gonna be successful or not. And I think in terms of branding, I think we'll get there. I think we'll definitely get there. And then the product wise, I think we all can agree the product is pretty nice. So I think it's gonna work out. I'm pretty confident on that.
Well, let's hope so.
Yeah.
Now we can see what sort of ratio of the people who would want that Neo experience, like Neo houses, service and so on, compared to like a pure best bang for the buck, but you don't get all those perks that Neo has. So it doesn't matter where the ES6 goes, you will lose all of these perks. Now we can see the ratio of how people would see the market in general, I think. Okay.
I see we have a question from. Oh, go ahead, P.
So I'll just rapid fire some questions. There's one about BYD's 2,000 kilometer range new gen plug-in hybrid, the BYD Ting and Seal 06. Ting, you're a bit more familiar with BYD cars. What do you think about that car?
It just improved the system efficiency, right? Because BYD alone, the DMI version, they can drive more than 1,000 kilometers already, like the real test. So I wouldn't doubt that they would get to the 2,000 kilometer, but I don't know the setup, like how much is the battery size versus the size of the tank and the engine. So is there new DMI tech version? So it's possible, but do you really need that 2,000 kilometer? I find it a little bit fun.
Without stopping.
It's like yeah, I wouldn't stop and go to the loo for like another 18 hours.
Well, there was that story like many years ago about like the astronaut lady that wore a diaper to go kill somebody. Do you guys remember that?
What?
Yeah, I don't know. It was on Dateline or 2020.
What sort of story you in, man?
Yeah, I don't know. Some people probably heard about that. You can Google it. Next question.
Yeah, I think that 2,000 is interesting, but do you practically need it? Unless the price is really good. I mean, if the price is really good, which I doubt so, because if they want to go beyond that 1,500 kilometers up to 2,000, you will need some decent amount of battery there. I'm pretty sure. And
the price of that car is under 100K RMB, so pretty cheap. But to be honest, I mean, I saw what that car looks like. It's designed pretty nice, but it's just a vehicle at the end of the day to get you from point A to point B. Yeah, it's
very,
like
very far apart, point A and point B.
Yeah, but it doesn't really offer you that much like luxuriousness, and I would definitely say it doesn't really have much of impact on Neo because they're completely different, categories of customers.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you talk about numbers, the plug-in hybrid is still sells more if you compare between the BYD pure BEV and the BYD plug-in hybrid. Their hybrid is still like slightly more, right? So because the price is cheaper, it's relatively cheaper than BEV one. Let's see if I. Ooh, Fireflies. When?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be in China as well.
It's like 150K range, right?
Yeah, 100K to 200K range. Definitely going to be in China. No question about that.
They launch in China first, or they plan to launch in outside China first?
I think definitely in China first.
In China first, okay. So like similar to Envo approach, but it's even like sort of like a more mainstream, right? More
Yeah.
to capture all the mass products.
Yeah, this would be like the competition towards those like BYD hybrids that are like extremely cheap that all the taxi drivers are using. So it would really make sense for taxi companies to buy like a Firefly car or Uber drivers to buy a Firefly car here in China.
Okay. And still able to swap the battery. That's good.
Yeah.
You saw that
able
the
to swap.
sub-brand Xpeng, the sub-brand
Mona.
car. Did you see the spy shot? It's not a spy shot. It's like no camouflage at all. You only see the rear, the back of the car. What do you think, man? Is that the
Did
sub-brand?
you guys see it?
I saw it.
Yeah.
I think it looks ugly.
Oh. Okay.
I mean, compared to like the G3 or the P5, I think it looks pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know what they were doing, man. I mean, like
no
the
comment from
P7
my
was
side.
such a good looking car. And
Oh
then
yeah,
they
P7
kind of
is
forgot
really
that
nice.
design was what got people to buy the P7, right?
Yeah.
And then they focused on autonomous driving, and now they're focusing on AI driving. What happened to design, man?
That's
Yeah.
never been their strong suit. Even the P7 had some weird issues, I thought, but it looked nice. It looked nice from the outside.
Yeah, it looked nice. Yeah, so people were comfortable buying that car. But man, when I saw that car, I was like, wait, is this really like what it's gonna be, or is this a render? What's going on? Like, did somebody draw that? That was ugly, man. Whew.
But I gotta be honest, I somehow like the X9.
Oh yeah, X9 looks nice.
Yeah,
X9 looks nice.
I like it. So
Yeah, X9 looks
so they
nice.
may as well have a good, like a pretty good looking P7, though not perfect, and they do still have like a good looking MPV, sort of. You can look at it as MPV or like a really elongate SUV. I don't know what you call it, but inside is really nice too.
And the
Yeah,
G9
X9
is
is
not
really
terrible
nice.
to look at either.
Oh yeah, G9 is also looking pretty good, especially the new one with the new lights. You saw that one, right? The 2024 model year. They changed
I don't think so.
the front light. Looks pretty luxury.
We got
What
another
about you?
question. Oh, go ahead. Okay,
I'm not sure
go
whether
ahead.
it's the same one we're looking at.
No, this works.
Yep. Since
Do you
we
guys
are
think that NIO should keep momentum of orders and deliveries till Envoy deliveries finally start? Go.
What do you guys think?
It depends on what their incentives are in the next couple months, right? Because the incentives are ending here on May 31st. So if they continue them or offer other ones that are also competitive with what the industry is doing, then sure, they'll continue. But this is very price sensitive times
and also
in China.
the base price for Envoy is also not unknown yet, so we don't know the price with the base what would be. It could bring on the momentum of Neos in a way too. I think. I hope so. I hope. What about you, Mr. P?
I think the momentum can continue. Definitely can. And it also really depends on the policy. Yeah, what kind of policy they have. But there's definitely going to be some policy. All right, they're not like going to just say it's over. No more discounts or no more nothing. NIO's actually doing price cuts via inventory cars, right? So there's always been like huge demand for inventory cars. People that want to buy a NIO that's cheaper than the sticker price, they just ask for inventory car or showroom car.
Mm.
And so NIO is actually quite flexible on that. And as Eric said, if you have an order for another vehicle, like you pre-ordered a Li Auto or you pre-ordered a Xiaomi car and you kind of want to change your mind, NIO's going to help you out, right? So they're very flexible with this kind of thing. So, but definitely they got to come out with some other incentive to get people to.
So
buy it.
I did actually ask the sales guy today, if he knows what the future incentives will be at the end of May 31st, and he said no. He said they find out June 1st. They'll have a meeting and they'll learn what the new incentives are. So they don't get any heads up.
Yeah, otherwise they'd be hogging orders, right? They'd be hogging orders.
Yeah.
They tell their customers, hey, don't buy this don't buy the car yet. Wait until next month.
Yeah. Wait,
I want to get
something's
higher
coming.
bonuses.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we have a
man.
question, Ting, if you go back up to 9:51, so pretty early. Heinz asked, do you know how many EVs NIO can produce in one shift with its 2 factories per day? Mr. P, do you have any idea? Because I have no idea.
Oh, no, I'm not too sure about that. I haven't really delved that deep into the production output, but I did see one of their live streams. I mean, like, they're pumping out cars, like one car. I think if I remember correctly, it's like one car every 2 minutes, one car every 2 or 3 minutes. The thing that's very impressive is the fact that there's so many customization options, and they have little robots that drive the car. The robots that drive the chassis of the car to different spots to like assemble the things. For example, the front dash. There's basically a little island area that's just responsible for installing the front dash. So the robots drive the car there, and then they get the front dash installed, and then the robot drives the car to the next station. And it's just like it's pretty insane. Like, it's pretty autonomous what they have at the factory over there. And yeah, I'm not too sure what they can do 2 shifts, but they're definitely working overtime.
I think we all have various connections at NIO. I know I'm supposed to talk to some people at NIO next week, actually, on a phone call. So I can ask and see if they can provide me that data, but I don't know if that's something that they would provide. But I'll certainly ask, and if you guys can ask people as well, maybe we can share next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we see a lot of the number reservation, right? The image that we just saw just now. So if there's a difference between the deliveries and that like reservation, meaning even though you got a lot of sales, like people reserve the car, but you are unable to produce fast enough. So which means you should have like probably like like one car within 2 minutes. If they can improve into like 1.5 minutes or even 1 minute, that actually impact a lot, no? But we do not know that figure, so we only know there's always some difference. Like
I'll do my homework this week and try to find out for you guys.
Cool, man. Cool.
I'll do my best.
Okay. Oh, this one I think we did touch last time a little bit. What you all think? 2025.
I really don't think they're heading to the States in 2025.
I think all of the Chinese EV maker, they might not even look at the US as their main market now. Only for the stock maybe, but not to sell cars. They were trying to, but I think now they focus into OUS, outside US. Yeah. Oh, okay. You have to pump more video out, man. It's a P plus. If I'm there, I would do so, but I'm not there. So you are the only one who still got the but NT1 does it have the NP plus thing?
No. So I actually asked NIO to lend me a car. So hopefully I'll have a comprehensive video on NOP plus coming out
the
soon.
2.7, yeah.
And me too. Because like I said, I'm meeting with them next week about a project we might work on. So I'll have it. I might have a chance to.
Good.
Nice.
Soon, me and P and Ting, all 3 of us.
It's gonna be a while for me to go back, man.
And
eCarpo
is also gonna put some NOP plus recordings on YouTube as well. So if you have a channel, eCarpo, I'm assuming that is your channel, eCarpo. Go subscribe to
it. Yeah. Can you just like comment your handle here? So we all can go and reference to what your video would be. Cool. All right. Oh, but he's not good enough.
Well, don't be honest.
No, in China it's pretty good now. I mean, the NP plus with 2.7.0 based on
the eCarpo, I believe, is in China.
Oh yeah, so you are on 2.7.0 now. Do comments. It should be good now if that's the case. Yep, do upload the video. Yeah, people are waiting for it. eCarpo. All right, let me see if we missed something. You guys let me
Also,
know.
I just want to share my opinion on the U.S. tariffs and all that stuff. I think like the only way NIO can ever enter the U.S. is if like William Lee shook hands with Biden or Trump and agreed to like build a factory there in the U.S. to produce maybe like Envoy cars or something like that, and then be able to sell those cars there. I think that would be like the only way possible, because otherwise it's just gonna be way too expensive. I mean, like 100% tariffs. Come on, you're paying double the price to buy a NIO versus a Tesla. That's just not fair, right?
Yeah. And all
that's
that.
actually.
I was going to say,
Okay,
and all the
so-
NIO data centers located in America and fully audited by some James Hawley or whatever the hell the congressmen are. That's the only way it's going to get done.
Yeah, funny enough, like back like in 2018, 2019, when NIO just started and ESA was here, the import prices for Model X's were quite expensive. I don't know if the Ting can relate to this, but apparently it's like 50% or 40%, something pretty high. And a lot of the early NIO owners, founder owners, they actually wanted to buy the Model X, but the taxes were too high, the import fees were too high, so they decided to buy ES8 Founders Edition. So, and that really worked out tremendously well for them.
Yeah, both S and X got that luxury tax included, import tax and all some other taxes at that time. So it's actually like 1.45 times the US price if you compare like neck to neck. US sell this much, in China 1.45 times that price at that time.
Wow.
So now it is much better, but since the tariff has been put by the US, I'm not sure whether Tesla would kind enough to bring the S and X to be manufactured in Shanghai. Maybe not, but we will see. No one can know what their mind is thinking, right? What Musk is thinking. So
yeah, nobody
anyway,
knows for sure.
yeah, for those who cannot wait for NIO to go to the US, I got one solution. Just move to China. Oh shit! I put the wrong one. Sorry, this one. If in 1 or 2 years, you didn't go to US, Redoubt has a solution for you. Yeah, just move to China. Look at Eric, man. He's doing well. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
Well, I mean, you're still smiling. That's a good thing, man. That's good.
Hey, life's not so bad.
Yep.
Happily married, Eric?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, but I'm not sure whether this way would work. Yeah, Charles D. He said that if NIO would enter the US through Mexico with Envoy, that we can't deal with BYD because Envoy is using BYD's battery. But if it goes through the Mexico, you still got the tariff, right?
No, because we have like NAFTA or whatever the current NAFTA is. I forget what it's called. So if you manufacture in North America, you avoid the tariffs. But I'm sure that they will slap some more tariffs on if all the Chinese companies start building in Mexico, right? They're gonna say, wait a second.
I'm sure they need to tie that knot. They will for sure block that. So chance is thin, guys.
There's a comment thanking me.
Yeah.
Well,
one agree to go to China. Sorry.
So there's a comment says, Mr. P, thank you for the new updates and videos. Well, also subscribe to this channel as well. Blue Sky Coming. We have a lot of discussion here, and it would be very nice if you could also share these live streams as well. And we talk about lots of cool stuff here.
Yep. And we have fun making these shows, but we're not making any money.
And we also have special guests, right?
Obviously, right? So
So
definitely subscribe.
Not negative.
Yeah, thank you guys for the support, but also subscribe to this channel, share this live stream.
Please do. Yeah. And to be honest, Eric and Mr. P live more frequently on this channel, if I'm not mistaken. So believe us. Mr. Pete live here more frequently. Oh, sorry.
We do
Okay,
live
go ahead.
here? I didn't know we did that.
No, I mean here, like what we are discussing right now in this
Oh.
channel. If you count the number of episodes versus the live stream on your own channel, maybe like Mr.
Right. I got you.
Right?
I
So
got
you featuring in our like podcast channel a lot more than our own channel.
you. Yes.
Yeah, we basically don't do live streams on our own channel.
So it's a good place for us to hang out here with all you guys.
So one thing we wanted to do, guys, before we leave today, and it's actually great because Mateen kind of asked the question. He said, any forecast regarding September envelope delivery numbers? That's not what we want to do right now. What we want to do is give our predictions for this month for NIO for May. So we saw the reservations. It was like 23.5. We have a few different ideas of deliveries from what we've seen from the sales centers, delivery centers. So we're going to all make a prediction for this month, and we're going to come back next week and see who is the closest. So, Ting, why don't you start? How about you start with your prediction?
I'll
NIO
go with
sales this month.
22.
22K. Okay. How about I go next? I'll go with, I was thinking 24,000. That's a high prediction, but I think they can reach it. They're going to push real hard at the end of this month. And Mr. P?
Well, I guess I'll have to go with 25,000 then.
Oh, I thought I was going to be the highest.
Oh, I'm the most conservative one.
You'll probably be the closest.
Right. I hope I'm wrong. I hope Mr. P is right.
I hope so.
Well, the thing is with the insurance registrations, like you take delivery of the car and then you get it registered.
Right.
And then like some people, they get it registered much later. So we'll have to see. And judging by like how packed the delivery centers are, I think it's going to be pretty nice. Yeah.
I think so too. And I think they're going to push real hard at the end of the month based on my conversation and based on your videos that I've seen you make, Mr. P. So
I just took the average. I just look at the number. Not like because I didn't see the showroom, but I hope you're right, man. If it's 25,
but you saw they have 23,500 ding dan already so far up to what, May 26th, based on that screenshot you had, right? So
no, that reservation, right?
That's what I mean. Those are reservations 23.5 up to May 25th.
But
or 26th.
I just think that they cannot meet up the same number unless the backlog from last month would be on the last week of last month is a lot more than the last week of this month. Then maybe it's possible.
Right.
It's just a number. Like I just plus minus. And
no, to be honest, I think you're probably going to be closest, but I just wanted to go up higher.
No.
And then Mr. P wouldn't vote. It's like Price is Right when they're doing that showcase.
I hope this guy is right.
Yeah.
So the stock would be up by another 5.
Yeah. I'd like to make some money someday.
Yeah. Stay strong, guys. I'm sure the foundation is strong. So
yeah,
for sure.
And but before we end it, we got, I think next week on Thursday, we got earnings coming up on Thursday, exactly around the time that we're going to do our live stream. So we might have to push this back to like Friday, maybe, our live stream next week. But also for earnings, that could also be a very big surprise for a lot of people, because analysts are pricing in like a very pessimistic revenue number of 1.44 billion. Last year, first quarter, they got 1.5 billion, right? Even though deliveries Q1 this year is slightly lower than last year's, I think we're gonna beat the analyst estimates. Also, we got that 4.7 partnership tech licensing deal. How much do you think NIO is gonna get from that? I mean, like, that's really like, who knows, right? Because we saw with Xpeng, they worked with Volkswagen, and Volkswagen gave them like 200 million. Well, what do you think if you guys were NIO and somebody wanted to use your tech, how much are you going to charge them?
Depends on the tech.
Everything. Your patents, research, information, software. I don't know, maybe even that.
I would charge as much as I could get.
Yeah. as much
Yeah.
as reasonably can be paid by them too. Like
Mm.
we're not gonna kill their business, right? So they have their own number. We should not go too much beyond that number.
Yeah. So like they're definitely getting some money, and that was a press release on February 26th, if I recall correctly. They're gonna get that, and then plus royalties. So in the future, I guess you can also expect royalties from all these other swapping partners that will be using NIO's battery swap. So that's gonna be very juicy. All right, they're gonna be pulling in a lot of extra money. Yeah.
Hopefully,
Good.
they build more NIO houses so people can complain.
Yeah.
It may reach 100 soon. If
So
so,
we
what
have
you can?
we have questions on. Oh, go ahead. Go to Ting. Sorry.
No, I'm reading through the comments, and then people start looking at the $100 line now. So
Yeah.
that's good. That's interesting. That's a spirit, guys. Okay, go ahead,
Well,
man.
I was just going to say, there's people asking about Envo pre-orders. We talked about that last week. We don't really know. Mr. P, I know he said there was rumors about 200,000. Obviously, we don't know. In terms of predictions for Envo September deliveries, it's kind of hard to say how many they're going to be cranking out of the factory the first month. I'm sure they'll have a slow ramp up.
Yeah,
so
slow ramp up for sure.
I don't know if you guys want to make a prediction or if it's even worth making at this point. We haven't even seen the interior of the car. If you guys want to make those predictions, you can. Otherwise, what would you do if NIO stock price hits $100 before we get out of here?
Yeah. What would you do?
For me, I would probably sell half well before $100 because that'd be a healthy chunk of change, and then I'd retire. But I'm already retired, so I don't know.
I envy you, man. Already retired.
So what about you guys?
Mr. B, you go ahead.
Well, if it goes to 100, I'll probably just still hold. Yeah. See where we go.
Come on, man.
Might sell some. We'll see.
hold for what? 650?
Yeah, but the thing is, I think like now we're going to have a good ramp up, but then like I think the real run is gonna be at the end of this year. I think for NIO stock, at the end of this year, next year, the next 2 years, that's gonna be like when all the brands are launched, Envo cars being delivered, and then Firefly cars being delivered, the swap partners coming online with their cars. So that's when everything's gonna like show its true colors. And I think like, I think in the next couple days, when we get May delivery numbers, that's gonna be a big wake up call for a lot of people, right? We got our predictions in, but I don't think a lot of people are expecting that. People that don't watch our videos or watch our live stream, short sellers, they're not that informed. They don't know what's going on. They're probably still expecting like maybe like 6,000-7,000 deliveries per month, but then like NIO pops to 23,000 to 24,000 deliveries per month. Damn, that's gonna be a shocker for them.
I still do have a high hope for NIO, man. So I love the tech, I love the products. So I think that in the long run would speak for itself. It would.
Hopefully. They got to make it to the long run though, because it's ruthless out here, and competitors are ruthless as well.
EV race is a marathon. Yeah. All right. I think we are about time, yeah, Eric, Mr. P.
Yeah, it's bedtime.
Right about the bedtime.
It is.
Thanks you guys, and thanks all the viewers. We got quite interactive comments exchange in between the viewers among themselves, and that's pretty good, pretty nice. We love it. So stay tuned and do subscribe. If you didn't click the subscribe button yet, do so. Do share the video because we talk a lot more out of the script too. So there's a lot of stuff leaking in here. So
goodbye, Heinz. Auf Wiedersehen.
All right. So with that, I send everyone off to bed. Good night, guys. Thanks a lot. And join us for the next podcast.
See you guys.
All right. Stay safe.
Stay safe. Stay healthy. Peace out.
Peace out.